What's up, everybody? My name's Igor. Welcome to The Lair. Today we're going to be talking about The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO Max. The trailer just dropped this last week, and I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do this video because I could very well be wrong. What could I be wrong about? Well, I've got predictions for what I think is going to happen in the show that's going to be different from the game. And the reason I've reached these conclusions is because of some context clues they've sprinkled throughout the first season. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with citing what might be surprising to some people, but my thought process on what's going to happen. There's already a bunch of differences in the show from the game. That's obvious. But the first thing that I want to point out that sows seeds for me and big changes coming is that Tommy and Maria are expecting a baby. That doesn't happen in the game at all. And if you don't know, I'm a huge fan. I mean, anybody could buy this flag, but I'm a huge fan. I've had this banner on my wall for like 3 years, and I've beaten The Last of Us 1, The Last of Us 2 so many times. I've streamed them. I've played Grounded Plus or Grounded 2, whatever the hardest difficulty is. And I've done permadeath, but not on Grounded. I was close to that, but I was having some issues on the PS5 version that made me stop because if the game freezes, yeah, that doesn't matter. That's relevant to this video. But I wanted to let you guys know I'm a huge fan. With Tommy and Maria being pregnant, and with Joel, they really humanize him more in this show than they did in the game. My first big change is I think instead of Joel dying, I think that Tommy will die in his place. Why? Well, reason number one, because it's Pedro freaking Pascal. Pedro Pascal, to me, for this show, and I'm not saying he's unkillable because he's died in a lot of shows. He's died in Game of Thrones. I mean, he's an antagonist in the second Wonder Woman. That was a poopy movie. Sorry, DC fans. But he's clearly a bad guy. Maybe he died in that movie. I'm pretty sure he died in that movie. I don't remember. I try not to remember that movie. But he's kind of in that same boat for this show as Norman Reedus is in The Walking Dead, dare I say. But be it that it's HBO, they don't care. They will destroy anybody. I mean, look at Game of Thrones was almost true to the books until it got to the last season, right? Because that book isn't out, and then they just freeballed it and pretty much ruined it. But the reason I think Joel's going to live, he was shown in a few different scenes in this show to be a little feeble at times. Not like weak, but specifically feebled in a way. I don't know why they chose this route, but like, for instance, the scene where he first gets back to camp with Tommy and meets, everybody back in Jackson, and he's working on his shoes and he's struggling, and Tommy gives him new shoes. He talks about his hearing, and he talks about all that he went through to get there. And he was talking about how weak he is. You know what I mean? That scene was very vulnerable, and Pedro Pascal killed it because he's Pedro freaking Pascal. And Tommy, being the less weathered younger brother, is really reassuring and a good supporting, sibling at this time for him. But like, what I think is going to happen ultimately is in the quest for Abby's revenge, instead of them not getting Abby, I think they're not going to get Joel, and Joel's going to get away and be in the same boat that Tommy was, but worse, like way worse for weather. I don't know if we're going to have a vengeful Tommy in this season. And I would I don't know. It really just depends on if HBO is brave enough to kill Pedro Pascal. Because if you know the game and you know what Abby does with golf clubs, that was a very divisive moment for fans of The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2. The games became very divisive, and for the fans, the fans became very divisive. Now, granted, I think The Last of Us 2 is my favorite video game of all time. Don't flame me for that, but that game made me feel emotions that no video game has ever made me feel before. Equal parts loss, like exploration, like I felt revenge motives, I felt forgiveness, all these things, and I've beaten that game over 10 times. And I've really processed this down to the smallest detail. I don't know if they made that game for me, but like 3 of my favorite songs of all time are in it. And when I finished my first playthrough, I was like euphoric. But I don't know. I don't know if they could commit to Neil Druckmann's original masterpiece game and just kill Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is going to be the difference maker in this whole thing. So I don't know. I could be wrong, and I will gladly go on the record and say yes, I was wrong. But I don't know if they're gonna kill him. We'll wait and see. I don't think it'll be this season, the season 2, and it comes out in April, which I'm really excited for. But I don't think it'll be this season. It'll get up to the moment or whatever the wolves will start the hunt. Spoiler alert, if you've never played the game, you might want to stop listening here. But as you know, the wolves will rally together with the old members of the Fireflies that suffered at the loss of all the people at the hospital due to the hands of Joel, and they'll go on the manhunt to find him no matter the cost. And then they kill him in that mansion up on top of the mountain. Well, Abby does, in a horrible, horrible way. And yeah, that's basically the entire premise of The Last of Us 2, the game. And you go try to get revenge on Joel and fail because you show mercy after all of it's over. And it's a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Pedro's going to live. We'll see. I don't know if they'll make something happen to the baby god. I hope not. But be it that it's the Last of Us universe, they may, I mean, who knows what they're going to do. There's just so many seeds that's been sown that could be a hard loss for Team Jackson, you know? So I don't know. I would like to see Tommy go to battle, though. I mean, there's a lot of iconic scenes in the second game where Tommy's the sniper and he's like blasting all of Abby's friends. Like, you know, there's so much to look forward to, but I don't know if they'll do roles reversed or not. But I see the thing is, if they kill Tommy and they weaken Joel, there's nobody else that can take this place. But wait, what if the estranged ex-boyfriend of Dina takes the place? I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting. But I don't know if HBO is brave enough to kill Pedro. Now, if Pedro does it, if Pedro goes through and he gets the 9-iron to the face or whatever, or if they choose to do a different way, it'll probably be one of the saddest losses in TV history because it's Pedro freaking Pascal. That guy is one of the most blessed actors I've been fortunate enough to see on a screen. He's so good at what he does. He's casting all these big roles for a reason. And, you know, I will go on the record and say I was worried when they cast him as Joel because, he has some Hispanic heritage in him. And I was worried about that. I don't need him to be some macho white guy, but paying true to what the game is. Joel Miller's like the whitest name in the world, right? Like, but Pedro Pascal, man. Oh my God. He's so good. So I wonder if we're going to hear him play guitar though. Like the Pearl Jam song. Will he sing the Pearl Jam song? I don't know. It's going to be a fun time. I'm so excited for it. April can't come soon enough. But I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. I don't know who else is going to die. You know, I don't know who else is going to live. I know they'll keep Dana alive. Jesse's going to be the wild card too. Jesse kind of had a poopy death in the game due to the hands of Abby at the movie theater, if you don't know. And I always thought that Jesse was such a good character that he didn't. I think they kind of eliminating him in the game was kind of stupid in that way because, yeah, it was a loss, but it was like so sudden. And I know death can be sudden, but with how awesome of a character he was, it could have been way more emotional or impactful to have him do something awesome and go out. Because this universe, that anything goes. All the infected, you know, I don't know. I just want to see some changes for sure. But I'd love to hear your comments. Please let me know what you think about this. Will Joel die? That's basically the premise of this entire video. I don't think he will. I think they're going to pull a card and kill Tommy and make Joel feel the pain of the loss that Abby felt when she lost her dad and everybody else. So, I don't know. Or will they kill Maria? Who knows? I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a switch up because if we see the game played out play by play, then like, is there really any point to watch the show? Right? So, I don't know. We'll see. And I'm gladly going to admit if I'm wrong, but I'm down for the ride because The Last of Us 2 is my favorite video game of all time. Thanks for watching. I'm going to not edit this video at all. I'm just going to post it as is because there's a lot of raw emotion here. But season 2 coming in April. Thanks for watching. Press that subscribe button. Appreciate your time. My name's Igor, and thanks for watching me at The Lair.